Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mindseye, and we're going to do something a little bit different. This one is recorded, and usually every Saturday we do something live, but today we just need a little bit of a break. And when we come through it and we can't do it and we just can't get it done, you have to have fun in a way unknown to be renowned. And you have to go about it in a way unknown to have it sewn into you to the point where you can't even relay a delay to have it all gone through. So when you have it all gone through and you can't even be and you can't even say and you can't even D, and it's like alphabet soup has come through you more ways than one that you can't even do it to to and you're like, that's a cryptid. That's a cryptid. You can't even see it coming. So what is really true? There's something like really highly guarded. Something's really highly guarded, and you can't even understand who or to it is, and it's highly dictative, and you can't think of, and you look at it and you go, you can't even do it at all. You can't even do it at all, and you can't even be it. And all of a sudden, everyone's still got bird flu because here I am. Is it premonitions? Is it acting out? Is it anything of that nature? Because you can't even be anything to the highest degree of known around anyone. So with that being said, it's dry. So there's a little bit of hidden motives that are going on, and you can understand after MS-13 coming through. But really, the Three of Pentacles comes in. It's the type of teamwork that comes in on the base of known to the basis of known. All forms of the meaning and the spelling, which is the theme of this year. Basically, I see as a psychic that there's a logic that needs to be cut. And that's why, like, everyone's on TikTok and it's like, cut it, just like do it and cut it, because we can't even fulfill our grocery orders anymore. So when you see the Three of Cups, there is a getting together, there is known, and it is like known to be, and it's not maybe the best of a meeting, and maybe you've had some bad words or bad blood or some ill instances that came through, and you have to say, like, I don't always sit pretty, but really it's not the best of judgment. Like, all of a sudden, like, people are getting together and it really is emotional. There's a talk of the town that comes in and through that when you say it's absolute like recklessness, this is really not this, and then like, here I am again. You can't even be it, and you hear it and you go, what is that ticking? Loss of money. So I'm looking at loss, and I'm looking at the gangs, and I'm looking at Los Angeles, and then I'm looking at it's lax, and then you look at it and it's LAX, but really it's like a laxative, and then you look at like Metamucil, and you can't even get it out. You can't even get it out. The Page of Wands comes through, and I feel like a Pete and repeat. What are we looking for? That we have to do it again. There's something, because every time that we run it, it gets through. Lord. Excuse me. Like I said, it really hit town here. There was no impulse delay. And we just can't understand why. And the sun came in and he goes, you can't even believe it. The deal was already made. I can't believe it. What happened? We've been waiting for this night. Absolutely waiting for this night. And you look at it and like, how dare you concoct this without me? So when you see this and you see the wheel and you see the sun, it really is a completion of a cycle. And that is a really good thing. But when I'm looking at it, and we're going into April, there is something about Easter and Esther. So let's actually look at Esther from the Bible. What do we need to know about Esther from the Bible? Okay. So all you need to know is that all was like hell and reigns loose to be it known. And to be it known back in Esther's time was a king of gold that was cold-hearted to be none. And then you hear non-binary vision, like nothing stuck when Esther was around. Esther was known so hard to be it all, to know it all, that she sat pretty no matter where she was, even if she was disheveled. So when she was disheveled, and like I said, It comes through now and again because of healing of many ways than one. You have to say that is how a lot of instances would come through. So let's actually look again on the draw. I really don't see any isolation. I don't really see anything major whatsoever, even looking in your own way. And you say, why is this related to Esther at all? Let's look. So basically, all you need to know is that when it came to it, she sat well. And that's all you really need to know. There's something about her, though, that's really hard to get out. Really hard. Lord, it makes me go cross-eyed for a second. So when I see it and I go, there's something about the way that she was able to come in and sat well with others and could easily bring in like what we would know as a contract. And when you see this and you go, imbalance, what would actually be on the table as far as contract? It really had to view with judgment. Well, let's shuffle again. What is this shuffle? What is this shuffle? These are the things that we do. So you just gotta be about, and you just gotta know about, and it like you could tell even the strongest of the strong individuals who know how to watch their mouth and know when words are being put in and when it's proper and not. You have to say that it had to do with like elemental. Got it out. So when you look at this and you say loss of money and then new journey, that is what she was really good at. She really didn't have to work hard. So when you're looking through the Bible, she really wasn't much of someone who worked hard. You don't have to do much to do a punch. So when I look at this and I say the Page of Wands goes impulse, lack of impulse, it really was not good. It really was not. So let's actually look at why is this coming out. Easter, Esther, Othala, Sarsi Oracle. So as I see it, I see growth and I see grow and I see misspellings. I'm seeing mastery and strength. I'm seeing a Judah. I'm seeing a known individual, and I'm seeing someone who could litigate and mitigate. But really, known was like a structure of individual who we would call maybe like an illegal alien, someone who was not supposed to be there, would sit and actually run and like, I hear docutate. That's an odd word. But they would do action, whoever this individual was, and they would follow your intuition and they would follow others' intuition and they would follow theirs at the end of a last sense to be it known. So, when we actually look at it to the highest point of degree, a less known is none. It actually would like make you celibate. Like we were looking at Cleopatra, and you see it, and like she went haywire over like birthing centers. She walked into a birthing center and literally had to have 2 handlers at all times. That's what we saw as a psychic medium. It was heinous. Now, was it midwifery or was it anything of that, or where something was born? Because when we talk about the golden age and the great severing and the great gap divide that potentially could happen any day, it literally is this energy of this deck, the great severing, Mars, anger, conflict, soften to love. It means you need to sit and watch and wait because something will be revealed to a revealed. So when it comes to Easter and Esther and Othala, a heritage loss, all forms of spelling, can't even get done correctly because you can't even be about it. And everyone starts, oh my God, that's heinous. That's heinous. So we have MS-13, the gang. Let's look at that deck. So when we actually look at it through and through, you can't even rent. You have to own, like all of a sudden, like you have to own everything, which is hard in 2025 because you can't even be about it. Like I'm looking and I say, when I see this fox, you literally got to act like a fox. You literally got to like almost sell yourself honorably and properly to when you see this earth room, you gotta go dig. You gotta go dig. I dig, you dig, we all dig. There's something when you see the hyena, it's gonna like laugh and like rip you apart, like a jackal, So when you see it and you see sea serpent, I say, why is Davy Jones' locker coming through? Why am I in a runaround Sue? Why am I in a rue? Why is it not mob night? Why is it not a debate? Why is this like hunker down and lock it down? Still, you can't even make it up. You can't even make it up. Tarantula, go. Just go. Just go. You can't even believe what is found. You can't believe what is found. It's there. When I see this, I say, you can't even believe how heinous this otter is, how playful they are in nature. They're playful. You can't even believe it. So let's look at another deck. Where is this going in the next week? Because we really didn't see much other than politics. That there was going to be another arrest to another instance because it's cold and flu season. God, Tara. Where else? We couldn't even. You can't even. Well, all is known, and you're looking at it like that's a playful game from 1979. You can't even be about anywhere. You're gonna get sick. They blink and get sick. So I see the Queen of Cups. It's counterintuitive every time. You just need one. You got to be prudent. Like, this is heinous. Some of you might know it, but those ask grandma, however or nana, what a be about is. A be about. Because when you look at them, you're like, hi, how are you? And they're like, bat in their eyes. And I say, I swear to God, you can't get out anywhere. So when I say they put it into you in a blink, that's heinous. That is literally heinous. How dare you do that? It is cut it out. Cut it out. Absolutely not. We're going to run our mouths. So when I say the 9 of diamonds to the 10 of diamonds to the 2 of spades, you can't even spirit to experiment. There's no leaks on the table to Wuhan, to all of it. It's just right there. They're all petri dishes. That's derogatory to say about everyone. That's why stay in your lane. Universal precautions. Literally, you can't even make it up. But when you say it, you go, make sure you wear your gloves, wash your hands. When we say spread your sheets, it means actually look at your spreadsheets on the computer. You can't make it up. The 4 of diamonds comes in. It's group work. You got to work together. So when I look at it, Queen of Clubs comes in and says, it really is close knit, like hunker down, close knit. And you got to sit together. The Six of Spades is going to come in and you say, I don't even have room. How are we going to do this? Six of Diamonds. You can't even believe a get out. Just get out of the house. Every time I get sick. That was the argument at home care. Every time I just get sick. I can't help it. Well, we've gone through this and we've educated you. Yeah, you can't even say it. Like, it's so sour. I wonder why. Is that actually really nasty about denials and appeals? It is derogatory. So Six of Clubs means like, I'm so sorry. I heard stimulus package. Where is this stimulus package where we get money? There were some things that were on the inauguration day that you couldn't get it done. And they walk out and they say, they literally said it on the air, that there were some things that he left and put into play already. Former President Biden and former President Kamala Harris. So when you say it and look at it and be about, you have to say, what is this? The numbers ran well. Okay, well, again, do we have to really do this? We got to do it all. So when it comes to smut and smearing and lemotalanie, which is an old Gaelic word, confirmed, you literally got to use your own psychic sense to the highest point of the degree. You say a degree, it really is. You need a paper. You need a paper for everything. You can't get anything done down there or here, there, everywhere, even up there. Like, you need biometrics. You need to literally scan everything. So when you look at it and you say, this is so disappointing. Look at this horse. Look at this horse. I'm literally just mimicking everyone's voices right now. So when you do, and you be, and you see, and you ye, you literally go get the bread and the butter, and you get it all out. Because what broke bread for war tonight? March 29th at 20:33, which is 8:33 p.m. Eastern. It really was a cat couldn't go to the box properly and literally urinated and defecated as a cat would, and a dog messed the carpet. And they said, I heard it, I felt it, I saw it, it's true, it's criminal in nature. Look at the way that dog is dragging its behind. Well, take it to, this is not my dog. This is not my dog. This is not my dog. There's something in Connecticut that's just odd. So when I look at the Mother of Pentacles in reverse, it's a selling of oneself that was so dishonorable. You couldn't even get it out. But they sit well. Look at this Empress card. You're like, you gotta be kidding me. So when you see the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, just like wipe it off the table. This is gross. Temperance, you go, balance, their gate. Their gate. Look at their gate. You can't even believe it. The Two of Wands goes, maybe there's some other things going on that you can't see that was highly protected, not foreseen, not planned at all. You couldn't believe how it planned and fanned out to show how pertinent it was to say, bless your heart. Literally tugging on the heartstrings. So when I see it and I actually see just, a ray of sunshine coming through where you can't even be pertinent to anything. that there is no retract back on a chess game, and the treasure comes through, and the Akashic field goes, here it is. Here is the disrupt. It really is northern lights here in the Northeast. This energetic field, energy field comes through like this right now. And when it comes through, it actually rises up and sits at water table level on a concave to come through and be it through, to know it through, to sow it through, to the bay of the lay of the stay, literally a vacation ground. When you look at it, it go, nope, Mercury hit so hard like that. You literally go, oh my God, you can't even see it coming. And literally, you can almost, if someone could read energy really well, you go, everyone flew up. Oh my God. Now, here it is. This is that topic on the table. The Ark of the Covenant, because it's shown up a couple times. And you say the mark of Cain. Let's talk about the mark of Cain. Let's talk about how does Jesus and Jack the Ripper actually come through on the videos. And it's like, wait a minute. Let's go to the literary. Here we go. Now, I would say it's not relevant, and it does happen from time to time. People mutilate themselves. They literally do, to the point where they pass away from injuries, infection. It does happen. And mutilate is to the point of like severe mental health distress where they can't get in out. So when you look at it and you say, historically, no. And I say historically, yes. It's all on how it's written. Because as it's pronounced, and those who arrive in the current date and time, you can't even see it coming. How bad it was. Where we went, why aren't they coming in? Why aren't they coming into work? They're sitting there fine. Yep. This spider card, and I'm going to look at this, and this is rare, and I think this is one of those nights where you just need a little extra support. The focus, the planning, and digesting. This is odd. Snail, take your time. The sacred fragility. When you see this, bees, you're looking at the card. You say togetherness, work, and treasures. When you get together, take your cold card out. And when you say doll, I say you can't even believe who wants to work on this. All of a sudden, it just comes right out. Illusion, old wounds, childhood. There's a revisiting of some of these things. That's why I feel like the media should stay a bay on certain pertinent topics. Meaning, over here, the Waterbury case. I'm going to say it and call it right out. If you continue with that, it's going to be harsh, heinous. And when I say it, I say prudency is key. Consistency is key. To actually, like, you can't even get it out. Everyone is flipping out. And I go, this wings card is wishes, ambition, and wandering. Like, all of a sudden, when you look at California and you look how it looks at with Esther and all these significant women in the Bible, since we're ending Women's Month, there's something about loss. When you look at loss in this book, it's the cycle of life, it's transitions and attachments to where some of them I went through the dark night of the soul and I came out a wrench. And I couldn't believe it. And we say, usually maybe you should say not that because that's criminal. That maybe you need to say shadow work. What got locked inside of you? What got locked? Let's shuffle one more. One more. Health and toxicity. There was a common trend that came through about 2 to 9 years ago where it looked grandiose and it wasn't. It really was on point. So when I look at this hedgehog card, you just can't even believe it. Vulnerability, hiding the heart and tenderness to the dark. The dark. Here we go. And I literally, even as a master, when I feel like it's heavy burden, go ahead and just get the book. It's okay. Because you got a lot on you. Plath. Living in the dark, intensity, fury. I feel like a knock on the door on some of these things in Connecticut, at least. I'm seeing Kansas. I'm seeing Arkansas. I'm seeing Montana. I'm seeing Florida. And I'm seeing a couple other things. And you say, I can't even believe you did this. I can't even believe you did this. House. This feels like a tribunal. House. What do we need to know about house? Stability, stagnation, family, confinement. Confinement. So, as it all blends through and you look at it and you go policy, procedure, protocol, law, calls in, check it in and say, was there an about to be a bay? Meaning, were they told by others to stay out? Were they told to say, were they trespassing? Were they hostile-like? Were they not showing up? How come? It was a free will choice. That is one of the most heinous things that you could ever come through in this society, because literally you go and you knock on the door and you say, I'm here to check on you, but they won't let you in the house. I would say historically that means there's something else going on. There's something else. But that was one of the topics of discussion elsewhere, where there was a lack of communication. You couldn't even get it. So literally we're picking up on it so hard you couldn't even say it. I mean, I'm looking at this, I say, this was heinous. I have to say, this was derogatory and point blank. Done. Star royalty? Absolutely. Galactic core. Okay, galactic core, I'm looking at body and I'm looking at the sun and the way it raises and rises and sets. When I see the sun card, I say you're just a ray of sunshine. It really was nothing derogatory, but really it was. Excuse me. But let's look a little deeper. When I look at it, it's forgive. You've got to forgive. I couldn't even believe how heinous this one was on a policy, on one policy. I'd say rightfully so that everything on DEI is a must know. N-O. That came in so quick as a psychic that I couldn't even believe it. It will literally have star royalty, whatever else comes through. When President Trump is saying, yes, I have to say as a psychic, that energy is so strong. I just have to say, it is a be at bay. Be at bay. You can't even be it. But literally, it's all about a sacred union. What is it with that contract? that everyone's like, I got to do it. I have to get it done. They're passionate about it done. And then you look at the star, and I look at the star and star and star, and I say, you literally got fired over DEI. Yeah, I refuse. I refuse. I already knew. I could smell it in there. They went through it and simulated everything. So when I said set your vibration, it literally meant set your vibration. It was disgusting. Was it opening doors? Yeah. Ventilation was gross. Imagination. I don't see creativity with it. But this idea of oneself is self and sold self, and to be the bay of the lay, like a prostitute, was to be a nun better in a convent. So we've had the black egg and the golden egg, and those who do spirituality, spiritual crimes, seeing it, studying it, like those about around COVID time, about satanical rituals, to Luciferian, to devil worship, demons, and how there was cannibals among us. That you couldn't even believe it. Here we are, they're there. So when I see Lightning Boy and you see this architecture of this pharaoh, you go, it's a little bit more quick than what you think. Because when you see Marot, I keep hearing chain link, star family. When I look at it, I say, literally, there's something about this so hard that you couldn't even believe. Galactic core again. What is it about this? Now, I do see on the precipice that it was good, but it leads right into the school board of a dismantle. That was so heinous. What was done on that one? Holy cow. It's not done yet. Not done yet. Akashic Tarot. Again, we gotta get this one out. So let's sit. Quantico. Cut it. Cut it. You can't even quant all the way down to Quantico. She put up a good fight. She really did. It's a female. Couldn't even believe it. How bad it got after that. It was like anyone. Some of these places that live in, there's tons of slew crime, and there's tons of gang-related incidents and low-income socioeconomic, that some of these healthcare workers and other clinicians come home. They're so sick that they almost get stuck in the house. They can't recover because of how we handle healthcare. And then infection rate, etc. We all know this. So when I look at this card, and it's just the lookout, where the ship is on fire and this guy is literally like this, you gotta go around and say, hallelujah, you finally made it. It's because they're low. It really is because they're low. People hear it and see it and feel it, but you can't even believe it. Now, with that being said, any questions, concerns, or comments, likes, shares, please put it into the comments, send an email. We'll do it. So when I look at this and I say, I will literally do this as long as I need for free, because I feel it, and we just need to have plain language, understanding that's smart, that you have to say, it's a go to go. Here we go. The Ten of Swords comes in, and there is a finality of relief that's not good. To severe hermit mode, isolation, to solitude. Here we go. Wheel of Fortune in reverse is a bad luck sign to get it all done on a way to a run. So for me as a visiting nurse prior, it was in the car trying to get it done because once I got home, I could not get it done. I could not because family came on a need first because they had to let loose in here. The Empress goes nasty toxic energy. Now I'm not seeing a female per se. It was created. I don't see witches and warlocks or a high priestess. It looks like negative ion energy, like blowing through the wind. So when I look at it, I go, holy cow, holy cow. The Six of Cups says not a good, like, reunion, remembering, or anything of that nature. So when I look at the Nine of Pentacles, I go, again, here's that prudency. Look at this card. She's literally looking at the butterflies just like she knows it. She knows it. Sharp endings. Sharp endings. Adhere to victim protocols. There's more. So, this came right to the table. What about Michelle Trachtenberg? Because there's something as a psychic that we saw that was about spider webs. Why would someone of that caliber of being a celebrity have cobwebs? Let's look. That's the runes. So when I look at it and I go, Nadis, at night, Nite, something crept through that couldn't get done. And I would have to say the location is true, that it was so sound and foul that you couldn't get a DONE with it. And when I say, hey, girl, you gotta say, you couldn't even believe it. The havoc. When I look at this and I say, hey, Bo, it's a gift that is sharp shored. So what would be that? Let's do a kick up of energy a little bit. It came down. It was constellation. It hit that energy. It hit her literally like here and here on a wind that made her disarray, sense to sense loss, to literally get out of here, to be up and say, get out of here right now. So when you look at it and I say, I heard it. I literally walked out of Walmart and I heard, you're going to be the one. And I hear, you're going to be the one to know, the one to say that these strange, odd occurrences literally come through because you can't get it done hard enough. When you say Othala, heritage, culture, estate, some things are not meant to release. Look how long it took for RFK, JFK, and MLK. You can't even run it hard enough. And you're looking at the documents and you're like, yeah, the only thing I could hear about it was Bay of Pigs. And when I'm seeing the energy, it's like radio frequency, sharp knife going through. They're laying out in the sun. They got power. They got rest. And then they go and they say, everyone is all together. And you can't even be about it. So when I look at it and I say this Wheel of Luck rune is truly a stroke. It flows. So when I say go golfing, any form of stroke, even painting, not to be inappropriate either, but literally you say living, still living. Bird flu. So when I look at it and I say, what is the true story that still connects everything that has happened in 4 years? Foul play, the bat, the king gets sick, and you can't even get it out fast enough. I couldn't even believe it. Everywhere. Everywhere. When I look at it, Dega means the wealth of that, like day shifting. Day shifting is the bank for all. The shift of the day. When I hear, that came in quick. I can't even get it out of my mouth. Defensive. Something is highly defensive. And when I go and I say, it is a go and a lurk about ill fate. And when I say, be kind, you can't do it. I couldn't even believe it. When you get out and you do it, you actually have to say it's true. It's true. On the freeze. And I look and I say, why did I blink? I swear I'm not stinging anyone. I promise. But the rest of the runes are saying a disarray. Just like a disarray. Sitting, talking, getting it through. All right. How is it all related? It literally has to do with a piece of paper that was like, if you look in the middle of America, there was a piece of paper that happened. And when you look at the White House, you see this energy connection come right down, right to that piece of paper. And that piece of paper came through, and it goes right through to almost a central Connecticut State University and says, you got it for free. It was the worst type of de-escalation some days with law enforcement and military that you couldn't even understand how heinous it was. Heinous. When you see Rido, it really is so hard to get it out, even on a ride, that you're screaming. People are screaming in the cars. They're so angry with the way it turned out. Even politics aside, that they're ashing something that's not meant to be known. What did Esther ash? Paper, juniper, and a clay pot. And she literally was like a Jezebel. And then literally you look around Easter, it has to do with fertility. It has to do with a birth of anything. Fertility could mean anything. It like heritage, culture, estate. So when you say diversity, DEI, was that a good thing? I don't know. But when I look at it on the school board, there was some sort of strength that was faded. It wasn't planned. It's not written or burnt in a script that comes in through living, that you can't even make it through. When you sleep at night, it turns over and says, run it through again and make sure it was true, that I was literally bought by the highest bidder today, because I can't even believe how harsh it was to get it out. It was who was sold. We were just talking about Michelle Trachtenberg. We were just literally talking about Esther in the Bible. Why was this? And you look at this. You couldn't even believe it. What was it? There was, at least here in this area, a huge run through of prostitution recruitment, to where it was all affiliates. through the schools that everyone went, go get it and write it. And if you hear it, write their name down and test them to see if it's true or not. There was at least 50 to 150 women. That's what I'm saying. Kids, they tried 375, 14 heard it. So when I say culture, it is derogatory. You go right back to Biggie and Sean Combs, and the colors come out, and the dots to the dabble, to the curse of a dog. Born. When I look at it and you go, you can't even believe how hard it was to psychic. You just had to use instinct. Instinct means your drive was so hard that you couldn't even hear it coming. That it was true. It was true. This hidden game that still has a lot of racketeering that was not done yet because they were all rest at ease. Like I said, the mass arrest has already happened, and I'm not doing conspiracy theory. It is actually like human behavior to individual behavior that comes in and says, they got caught, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait. So when you actually go and look and you say they are a risk, they're an absolute risk, you can't even be about it at all. You can't even sting it. You can't sue it. You literally got to just pick up the crumbles of the cake that was served and go, the disconnect was wrong. So let's go to energy sources because that's literally on the table. Renewable, I have to say, living off grid on a lot and building my own home and having it solar powered is the best. Let me live in the woods. So when I actually go through it and I say, let me bring out my Navajo in me. Oh boy, just take a knife and cut. Just take a knife and cut. Halt, stop. I'm not suicidal. I'm not harming myself. It's to end something. Just take the knife and cut. It's okay. Liberations. When you look at it and you say Seven of Swords in reverse, there's no steel. Steale. Steel. It's not a person. It actually is a form of soap steel. Like a castile. Page of Pentacles goes, holy cow, what kind of exposure is around here that we need castile soap in multiple states to mineral water. So when I look at it and I say, it's a young offer on the table and it comes right to your table with a knock on the door and it is a partnership, you have to say yes. Absolutely. It looks crazy, but do it. Do it. Because when you see this, it's foreseen. It's so heinous. You got to do. And I keep rubbing my ear and I'm like, yeah. Bugs in the ear. Go do, go do, go do. When you see the Hermit and you go, solitude? No. Mystery. High mystery to an illusion. The Knight of Pentacles goes, no, what else? So we'll ask, universe, what do you need us to know? To NO, to knock out, and to KNOW, so we can get this done. It looks criminal, but it's not. It literally is get in your car, go eat low, at least you ate, and be DONE for the day because you literally caught it. You literally caught it. So then when you look at the news, you say, got it. And you say it out loud and you go, it was already DONE. So when I see it, you go, This was heinous. This was actually heinous. So when I see this Six of Swords, turbulent and force, failure to follow policy and procedure and protocol so bad that you couldn't get anything done yet. Bound by paper and adherence, that is the loss. But in reality, here it is. A flow of intuitive emotions comes through when you sit there and you go, oh my God, this is the actual reactions of many people in America soon. I see it so hard. It goes, I give you full award because you literally nailed it. You literally nailed it. I couldn't even believe you did that. How you smoked a cigarette and you got it done. Just at the table with a cup of coffee. Like we used to. It's nostalgia. Go dig out and bring out your old family things and sit there and like I say, shoot the shit. Because you can't even see it coming. All right. White Sage Tarot. Let's try to settle this one down. Holy moly, we didn't even get to the Peach Moonstone. Didn't even get to that yet. Holy cow. Crying. I have to say, there's someone who tried so hard. You have to say, you did it. You did well. It is best to stay separate. It is okay for him to question everything. That victim in Waterbury. It's okay for him to do it. But then you go, balance. Be harsh when you're actually looking at the paperwork. Be nasty. It is some sort of victory, and it's not on a two-face either. All answers are correct. That's all I'm trying to show you. Whatever you're going through. This Four of Swords actually comes in a time of rest. The Seven of Swords will come in and steal it away. When the Five of Pentacles comes in and goes, it will offer money per se. But that really is the opposite. I don't know why it's saying that. But the Four of Wands goes, no. It really was meant to say that Five of Pentacles is going to offer money all of a sudden. It makes no sense. Not with that card. That's called a juxtapose when you have that as a psychic. That means that offering it was so ill to get it done. Get it done. The Four of Wands goes, you don't know what it is until it's in your face. And it's a piece of paper. It had to do with a celebration. There was a hidden motive. The moon, this is scary. To a railroad, to a yellow sign, to everything, to where you see the train tracks. And that actually means something in healthcare, train tracks. And it's derogatory, especially for a surgeon, that the difficulty is so nasty. You go, oh my God. The Queen of Cups goes, are you kidding me? Queen of Cups in reverse. Counterintuitive again. But the Ten of Wands goes, you literally nail it. You go, it's right at the tip of my tongue, and I want to pop it off. Ten of Wands. Alleviation of difficulty. Absolutely. There's a deal on the table. Spell it. So when I see it and I go, Page of Swords. It was a spread. It really was a spread. You couldn't even do it. To speculation. To a culture. And you're right downtown to the middle of everything. You couldn't get it out whatsoever. To be it all, to know it all, to sew it all to bed. It literally was like this type of nastiness, and you would say towards women, but I feel it was both at that time, about 5 to 10 years ago, in that range, where I have to say, like, who is who and who is right. What was actually going on? And we're going to leave that on the table. I feel like all of a sudden that energy went, stop right there. That's all you need to know. That is literally all you need to know. For some reason, the selenite and the black obsidian with the tourmaline needs to come out. Oh my God, the weight of it all goes, holy cow, you can't even see it. When you actually go through it, you do. Again, I just can't even get it out enough. I can't even get it out enough. So this is how you properly divinate. And this is what I use. I use this divination board. It's not like an Ouija board. It is pine. So it can have sound reassurance, which means it will literally collect sound. So when I divinate with a crystal quartz, it literally amplifies what I need to hear as a psychic. It's so hard. But literally you put your feet flat on the floor and you put your hand flat and you hold it like a teacup. And you just let it naturally go to where it needs to go. EIL, that literally is a ritual that happens in the Middle East of a count in and a count out to be a DONE. That when those who have served in the Middle East in the wars go and they eat naan or they eat anything from the market, they get ill and they get sick at certain times of the day. It's literally in the food sometimes. They say, I swear it follows me. And I see it like, it's like clockwork. Like clockwork. Thursday. On a Thursday. On a 3/4 of a June. It's like done. Out. So with that being said, usually proper, because I still have more to go, I would literally go to drop and break a connection. That's all you need to know. All you need to know. So when that weight shifts like that, that means there's an imbalance of energy to intuition to instinct, that there's something in the off position and you can't actually do, which means as far as this goes, you can't navigate a timeline. You can't navigate anything. And I'm not putting anyone down, because what they put out in the other videos, anyone who's making any other content, is highly regulated. But how is it related? It really is coming out as the current events are playing out, and they put their topics and they on what they have researched. That's all it is. So when I'm seeing it, and all the way through, like, what we're readdressing is taxes and religion and vaccines and all of it again, it's going to hit the table even harder. And that's all you need to know. So like I said, oh God, here we go, peach moonstone. I can't even get out of it. That is how harsh it is. All right, right out of the bag. Knowns. These are knowns. They have been in the media and social media. They come out and they start talking and speaking for the first time in a while. When I see this, I say it's hidden. Perth for me means like spider bites, insect bites. When I see this, I see something about warrior. They literally are like a keyboard warrior. It really is proper. It's proper though. They sit there and they actually say it. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, defense, read, REEA, no, REED, read to the gaff. You can't even believe it. You have to say, maybe watch Ancient Aliens. You would get something out of it. Arcana means this is showing a break. like a bone break. Living, yes. So let's actually dig into the Skulls and Bones Society on how they said they were cannibalistic. So as I see it, as what I remember it, they were cannibalistic. That's what we were hearing in the media. When I'm seeing it, it was known that they would walk around and they would literally go, and you would snap your bones. They were so heinous, and say, get out of here, get out of town, and be it known, if you come, it'll be a bay of a lay of a stay, a go to hell ceremony, and you will not be known again. So when I see it and I say it freezes everything, I go, absolutely yes, and sure, I would do that on a cannibal any day of the week. So when I look at it and it packs a punch even harder, there's something about the hidden estate of something about a break in the bone to a wishbone of a turkey that caused havoc. I swear to God, it wasn't me. Me, myself, as a physician, not physician, as a magician, my apologies. It literally goes, you can't even say it. Oh my God. Strength, absolute strength, to the point it was enough. I have to say, what about due process? What about law and order? What about judicial? All you need to know is that it's highly gifted. This whole reform of everything is coming through so slew-like that you have to say, yes, you can come in and you can visit, and I have slew also. And you can play and joke on it. Again, righto. As this, when I'm looking at Skulls and Bones Society, and then like completion of cycles, I have to say there's one that comes in that really is just as heinous as the Skulls and Bones Society, and that's Privy Council. Privy Council cannot even get through. So when I actually sit as a magician, and I had to study this with my grandparents because they were too, that I sat and I go, holy cow, you couldn't even believe it. You know, Ma, I literally went into a school meeting and I said, Ma, the way that they had their tables, it literally was set in stone. Like they set down the paperwork and they go, it's already decided. But me as a parent say, you don't need to teach them that to stay in as a discipline, like PTOT speech. They plateaued. They've been with like that for like 2 years. You haven't made any progress. I can teach them that at home. And they're like, so going forward, we're going to, and they continue. And literally they go, it made your head turn so hard. You go, assault to the highest degree when they do that in a Privy Council. So Privy Council is a witches' council. It is a witches' council that actually goes through hard with energy, where they have the paperwork already, and it's already known that you are to do a bust on something. It is tribunal-like, and it really isn't. But when you actually sit there and you go, holy cow, yeah, there's something about like a lot of joy. Wunho, I'd say a cutaway. So when I'm looking at it, I go, wow, you can't even believe it. Wealth, absolute wealth. This peach moonstone rune literally goes this. When you actually go through and it's broken, which means you can control your destiny and your fate yourself if you break your moonstone rune or any rune like that on the faded, which is the plain one. You go, deuces, goodbye, see you later. You can't even believe it on how bad it was that it went. Get out of there. Get out of there right now. D-Lenny. It will flow through so hard, whatever else is coming through, because it's not time for a revealing. We're waiting for taxes. We're waiting. That's your sign to say it was D-Lenny. Strength, sun, soul. It literally has all of it together. It was goodbye. Goodbye. It came in through strong. Holy cow. You can't even say it. You can't even say the swears anymore. So with that being said, we are closing this one out. That you can't be about a day at all. At all. So leave a like, a comment, a share, an email. And if you have any questions, go ahead and contact. It was really harsh. It was really all over the place tonight. But we'll see it through. Hopefully everyone has a good week. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.